Hexes in relationships, spiritual abuse disguised as romance. When soulmates feel more like soul cages, we've all heard the beautiful narratives: twin flames, karmic connections, destined lovers. The spiritual language of romance can be deeply moving after all. Who doesn't want to believe their relationship has cosmic significance? But there's a shadow side to spiritual romance that rarely gets discussed. When spiritual concepts become weapons of control and manipulation. The modern hex doesn't look like you think. Forget the stereotypical image of candles and cryptic incantations. Today's relationship hexes are subtle psychological operations that use spiritual language to justify controlling behavior. I'm protecting our sacred connection. Create unhealthy dependency. Only I understand your spiritual gifts. Invalidate your boundaries. You're blocking our divine purpose. Isolate you from support systems. They're energetically interfering with us. Excuse harmful actions. My higher self was guiding me. Red flags. Is your sacred bond actually a spiritual trap? 1. They weaponize spiritual insights about you. They claim to see things about your energy, past lives, or spiritual purpose that conveniently make you dependent on their special vision. Create insecurity about your spiritual development. Position them as your necessary guide or protector. 2. They use spiritual framework to explain away mistreatment. Mercury retrograde made me cheat. My awakening process is causing me to lash out. Your triggering energy brought out my shadow. These explanations remove accountability while making you responsible for their actions. 3. They create spiritual hierarchies. They position themselves as more spiritually evolved, connected, or gifted, creating a power dynamic where you're always the student, never their equal. 4. They perform cleansings after conflicts. Rather than genuine reconciliation through communication, they use rituals, crystals, or energetic clearings to bypass actually addressing problems. 5. They claim exclusive spiritual authority over your connexio. I received a message from Spirit that you should. My guide showed me that your path requires you to ... I can see your energy field needs me to ... 6. They make ominous spiritual predictions. If you leave, your spiritual growth will stagnate. Breaking free from relationship hexes. No one, no matter how intuitive or spiritually connected, has more authority over your spiritual journey than you do. Your inner wisdom is your most reliable guide. I see darkness surrounding you when you're away from me. The universe brought us together. Defying it brings consequences. 1. Reclaim your spiritual authority. 2. Check external validation. Discuss the relationship dynamics with trusted friends or professionals outside the spiritual context. How does the behavior sound when described in plain language? 3. Notice fear-based spiritual messaging. Authentic spiritual connections empower and liberate. If spiritual language in your relationship creates fear, obligation, or restriction, that's a warning sign. 4. Separate spiritual concepts from the relationship. Ask yourself, would this behavior be acceptable if stripped of spiritual language? Is divine connection being used to excuse what would otherwise be recognized as controlling? You can. 5. Create energetic boundaries. Practice visualization of cutting cords or energy ties. Use cleansing rituals that feel empowering to you. Work with protection symbols or practices from traditions you connect with. Limit interactions that leave you feeling energetically drained. The ultimate truth about spiritual relationships. Authentic spiritual connection expands your sense of self rather than diminishing it. Empowers your direct connection to the divine rather than mediating it. Respects your spiritual autonomy rather than directing it. Encourages outside relationships rather than isolating you. Welcomes questioning rather than demanding blind faith. Reclaiming your spiritual power. If you've experienced spiritual manipulation in a relationship, know this: your spiritual connection to Source, Divine, Universe was never broken and never required another person's permission or facilitation. What feels like a hex in toxic spiritual relationships is often the systematic undermining of your spiritual self-trust. The path forward involves reclaiming that trust in your own inner knowing. Remember, no genuine spiritual love seeks to control you. True divine connections liberate rather than restrict. Your spiritual journey belongs to you alone. Love that requires spiritual submission isn't love at all. The most powerful spiritual protection isn't crystals or rituals, it's your unwavering commitment to honoring your own inner truth. Have you experienced spiritual manipulation in a relationship? Share your experience in the comments. Your story might help someone recognize what they're experiencing isn't divine love but spiritual control.